Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Two Tamers Talk. We're starting hard on me because it's another new combo. Jacob, welcome to the program.
Hey yo, how's it going?
Yeah, this was by popular demand. The fans needed more Jacob in their lives.
Oh, I'm sure.
So here you are.
I'm here.
How's it going?
I'm here. I have my voice back, so we're
Yeah, you sound good.
no grogginess here. I'm excited. BT15 is fully out. There was a deck in the set I was very excited for, so I've been loving the BT15 release. A lot of awesome releases for the next upcoming year of sets that I'm really excited for. Just all in all, Digimon's doing great.
Yeah.
I'm doing great.
BT15 is great. It's one of those things that the competitive person in me is like, all right, let's get down to Apocalypse.
Yeah.
But then it's sort of like, well, it's you're watching this. It's Friday, so I guess by next Friday, Apocalypse will be at 1. All of the ban list goes into effect. So that's Anubis, Apocalypse, Buka, Garu-X, Gabu-X. And now it's like, all right, let's get down into some of these decks. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see what Tentomon can do for me.
Ooh.
You know,
Let's see just how awful Numemon is to play against for the regular decks.
Yeah, that's true. If you're watching this on Friday, the deck profile might be live on the channel by now, but I've been playing quite a bit with the Numemon stuff. It's we talked about it a little bit, that one of my goals going into this set and into EX5 was make Sukamon and Numemon as good as possible. And the Sukamon deck is already live on the channel. Thank you so much for watching. And it's pretty good. You know, I think the purple stuff is good. I think the new cards it has are good. You know, whatever. I think it's pretty good. The Numemon stuff is extremely strong.
Good.
It's one of those things that's like, yeah, we're going to make Numemon as good as possible. And then it won the Japanese national tournament. And it's like, oh, maybe they already made it as good as possible. But yeah, that deck's coming soon.
Numemon goes live yesterday.
So it is Friday, and you're all watching this at 8 a.m. because you're all loyal fans. So you've already watched the
wait
deck
up for the
profile,
release.
and you also commented on how bad my eggs are or something. You guys are savages in the comments. Don't think we don't see them.
Grilling poor Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff. The Rosemon deck has been doing very well on the channel, but people really think you ought to play Tanamon instead of Kokomon, which I don't know. Draw versus power. That's like the age-old question, I feel. You know,
I'm with Jeff. I think the card draw's better.
Card draw versus DP. It's like the chicken or the egg, basically. You know what I mean? But no, it's BT15 has started, and we've actually had a local tournament since then in the BT15 format. You did not make it.
I did not.
But I did, and I'm gearing up here for an Ultimate Cup coming up this weekend. And so the good folks of Wayward City Games had the misfortune of playing versus Apocalypse at the local.
I heard. I had multiple people reach out to me and go, Basil's playing Apocalypse tonight.
Yeah, and so the thing about it is, first of all, I've never felt bad for playing a good deck.
Never.
That's not me. I love playing good decks. The good decks are the decks I have the most fun with. This is, I'm pretty sure, the least fun deck to play against in the game. The controversy in Digimon as far as decks that are unfun to play versus most of the time is yellow, specifically security control.
Yeah.
People do not like playing against security control. I get it. You want to build your level 6 and then do what your level 6 does. And security control kind of says no to that. Apocalypse says, take half your deck and get rid of it. Can you kill me now? You know what I mean?
By the way, I'm a blocker.
Oh, I'm a blocker.
Can't be affected
I'm
by
undefended
Digimon
by
effects.
effects. You have security attack -1. If you manage to be a 16k attacker, I'm a retal. Yeah, it is miserable. I mean, and there are a lot of people at our local who love playing Digimon.
Yeah.
And they're just like, it mills 10. And I was like, yeah, it's gonna mill 12 next turn. And it's just like,
unless you get rid of it.
it's like, because I really was like, I'm playing Apoclymon at the Ultimate Cup.
As you should.
We wanted to keep Nationals kind of close to our chest. At these tournaments, I'm a little more loose with it. It was either Apocly or Anubis.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've played a ton of Anubis. I was like, I really don't want to play this deck anymore. And the Apoclymon deck, I wouldn't say it's like extremely fun to play because it is like mill your Dark Masters and then play Apoclymon for 3, which is kind of cool. But at the end of the day, it is sort of like, it's definitely not a deck I'd play at locals ever again. That was my bad, and I do apologize to the good folks of Wayward City Games.
Yeah.
But
as a machine player, playing your super huge Ultimate Digimon for super cheap must feel right at home.
Yeah.
But instead of getting to be a cool blocker that's hard to interact and to deal with, it's just mill 10.
Yeah. Hey, 2-turn timer. GG's.
Got him.
But Jacob, having you on the channel is unique, so I do want to take this opportunity to sort of pick your brain. I want you to sort of wrap up March 1st and before EX5 and BT15 and just sort of talk to me about that as a competitive meta.
As just EX5 or BT?
Let's say like BT15 with Apoclymon and EX5 and sort of that competitive framework.
Yeah. So those of you who don't know, Apoclymon is very good. This deck, I do not want to hear anyone in the comments complaining about Apoclymon being put to 1 of. It needed to happen. This deck was a monster. I remember playtesting because a lot of us, Basil, me, Justin, a lot of us do a lot of playtesting months in advance. When cards get released, we build the decks and we play them and we see how strong they are, mainly to see if we need to pick up alternate arts ahead of time to spec for sales or like seeing if this common's going to be $1 a piece. I might as well get him for 10 cents.
That's the bigger thing.
Pokemon was a deck that when we got to playtest it with whether it was the full Groover engine, whether it was
4 Eismon scatter mode,
was for scatter modes, no matter what build you put it in, Pokemon was miserable.
Yeah.
It was hard to deal with, and honest, this was even before we were playing like Craniumons and Magnetramons.
Yeah, what was the EX3 Metallic Tramon?
Yeah,
and
Metallic Tramon.
He Digivolve 1 to everything.
They can't Digivolve next turn.
Yeah, it's like
we were just fitting in cool cards that we thought would be unique.
Ooh, BT2 Puppetmon. That's really good.
Cover the whole board. They can't unsuspend.
Yeah.
No, but just from a math point, you have a 50 card deck. You start the game at 40 cards in your deck.
Yeah, because it's 5 in the hand, 5 in the security.
By turn 3 or 4, you've drawn hopefully 5, 10 cards ish. You've searched some. So when a Pokemon first hits, you typically have around 30 cards in deck, and a Pokemon goes, "Hey, put 8 of that in the trash." That is a huge chunk.
Right?
Did you deal with the Pokemon that turn? Well, now it's 10. Did they play a second one? That's 18.
Right.
The number side of it was just that a Pokemon, honest to God, was like, can you deal with a Pokemon in 1 turn? So the aggro decks who could outrace a Pokemon were just trying to go as fast as possible. But a Pokemon can hit the field as early as turn 2
and 3. Yeah.
If you get a lucky mill and are able to dump 3 Dark Masters in the trash really early, Pokemon only costs 3. Getting choked to 1 and milling 8 sucks.
It's like if your turn 1 is rookie analog youth and your analog youth is Puppetmon, Piedmon, and then grab a Pokemon, your opponent's like, all right, that's tough.
And you go scatter mode, swing, on deletion, throw 5 more in the trash, Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Pokemon
and then
is very good.
Yeah, that the Apoclymon thing is interesting because it was another instance of, all right, cool, goofy Megazoo deck. Hard play a 5, float into a 6, 6 float into 6. Eventually, you have a big boss monster.
Yeah.
Then it's sort of like you take the purple cards and you throw them in there, and all of a sudden we have 20 cards in the trash on turn 3.
Fundamentally, the deck is really cool. Like Basil just said, 5
the pre-release
floating into
was
6s,
a good example
all
of that.
Exactly. A Pokemon in a like very confined shell. It's a very cool deck to play if you don't have draw 4, put 3 in the trash cards.
Yeah.
If you don't have this Digimon isn't affected by effects, or your whole board can't attack.
Yeah.
Like if you take out all of the cards that like make the deck really, really strong and just put in like the Dark Master's core, and in another universe, a Pokemon said only Dark Masters as
rather
the
than
as
any
the
level
Digimon that could
6.
tuck, and it doesn't get restricted because the deck, while still being very strong, isn't like unstoppable. But the deck's just tough. The deck's just tough, and right now is really weird for the local scenes, I will say, because you've got a Pokemon that is, you know, only here for 2 weeks, but if you got your hands on it in 2 weeks, you're 4-0 in your local scene. It's hard to stop.
And it's interesting because we even had 2 people at the locals playing Melga, and it's like, okay, Melga, swing, unsuspend, draw, whatever. It's like, okay, 15K retail blocker,
Boom.
can't bounce it. Like let's play.
You drew 10 cards last turn, mill 8.
Yeah, right.
You're
Now
decking out.
So it's super, because I was talking with Justin about the because he's also playing in the Ultimate Cup, and he's trying to decide what deck to play, and it was sort of like, well, it's the same as Nats, but now there's also a Pokemon.
Yeah.
And so what do we really do about that? You know what I mean? And so he's cooking something up. He'll have something really strong for that tournament.
I'm excited. I didn't get my ticket in time. I like slept in too late, and
Dude,
the
we want those.
event
We
was
want
sold
that.
out.
We want
and I
that
was like,
Susanoo. That Susan looks good.
So cool.
Yeah.
Just wish the card was more playable. But
Yeah. Go figure. But that's it. We've got that, and then are you entered in any regionals?
yes, I'll be playing in all the regionals in April.
In April, so that's
Except for the one in like Texas and Tennessee.
right. Yeah. And so that is. Are any of them? They're in this format just with the restriction in place,
Yes.
or will the structure deck be out by then? The green one. I don't know.
I don't know for certain, but I know that Apoc will be gone by then.
Apocalypse will be gone. That's
because
true.
the deck I will be playing for most of these events, or the deck I want to be playing for most of these events, cannot beat a Pokemon. It is quite like you just can't do it. It's impossible.
Jessmon has always struggled with that, hasn't it?
But yeah, so I'm really excited for regionals. We've got serialized Omnimon cards, are super cool.
Yeah.
The pricing is like really cool too. There's a lot of cool alt arts. I want to get some sleep mode alt.
Those
sleep-
EP6. The EP6 is hit and miss depending on your perspective, because it's got the sleep mode. It's got the good Dark Knight.
Good Dark Knight.
It's got the Searcher Lalamon for the Rosemon deck.
The only one I don't like, the only one I genuinely like look at and I'm like, this looks really bad, is the Rise Grimon X Antibody.
We got another Rise
I hate the art. It's the card. I even play like one of it in my Shangrimon, and I have the event pack 5.
Yeah,
or 4.
it was in event pack 5, and now it's in also event pack 6. It's kind of like,
but it's just with an alt art that like really doesn't look good. I'm really excited for regionals. I'll be playing Angels. I'm a
yellow
big
support is
yellow. I was a big yellow player a long time ago. I finally got enough this support from this set, the Gatomon, the Anjumon Ace, Revelation of Light.
Revelation of
We've
Light.
gotten some really, really strong cards. And especially because I think that after this next banning, right, we're going to see a Pock get hit. We're going to see the Melga deck get hit. We're going to see Anubis get hit. I think we're kind of in like the Wild West of formats.
Yes.
Because going up to BT15, all of the decks that we're topping have been hit. Shangrimon was dominating.
Yep.
Shangrimon's gone. Apoc was dominating. Apoc's gone.
Yep.
Anubis was looking to be another one of like the big boogeymen of this format, because we knew a Pokemon was going to get hit. It was just a matter of when. Anubis getting added onto that list was also a big like, okay, Anubis is gone. I mean, and even Galaxy Loop. A lot of the Japanese players were like really working on Galaxy Loop to counter Apoc. And when Apoc got announced that it was going away, everyone went, this
Yeah.
Galaxy Loop deck is
Galaxy
too
Loop's
strong.
uncontested.
So all of these Mirage has gotten hit. So like all of these, I think I've listed them all. All of these like big scary decks that look going forward to and like play testing and figuring out how we're gonna deal with them. They're all gone. So we're going into this like I said, the Wild West. We don't know what the best deck in the format is.
Right.
And so we are now playtesting new decks to seeing if, maybe Numemon is that deck because Numemon is very fast. It's very sticky. It's very
Got lots of
floats
good
a lot.
removal.
Melga is still probably a deck that's going to put up a lot of work.
Yeah.
Losing our X antibody cards hurts, but hopefully the
BT9.
SR Gabumon
Yeah.
and the hopefully a lot of the cards that it got from this set will be like really good.
That mat is incredibly strong. I think the mat's really good.
For the Melga players, you should play EX1 Melga in this format. With Numemon being as awful as it is, Numemon, every damn card in that
As
deck
on deletion.
has
yeah.
on deletion. Just bounce them. Just take your Platinum Sukumon to hand. I don't need it.
Yeah.
This is looking forward. Angels, it was a deck that was like kind of like when it was played in JP, it was kind of like not really taken very serious because it would win a local here or there, but like the deck like couldn't beat a Pokemon, couldn't beat Shangarmon.
But now they're gone.
A lot of those decks are hit, and I'm reading Revelation of Light. And I'm like, says -5K to your whole board. And I'm reading Numemon, and I'm like, well, almost
3K. Yeah.
almost every card in this deck is a 5K or less. Hopefully this is good enough, and we've been play testing it.
Yeah, it's true.
Digimon as a whole is looking to be really exciting for the next while, and there's just a lot of like decks I'm really excited to play.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people are thinking, okay, March 2nd, probably Leviamon's going to be extremely popular. Probably, like you said, Angels is probably going to be popular. I don't think the insect support has enough at the moment.
But next set,
Tyrant
Kabuterimon?
people are going to be playing Melga for sure. But then other than that, it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if a Royal Knights player ended up winning that first regional.
No.
Royal Knights, Belphamon, even things like Bloom Lord or like Wargrey Toolbox, just straight up like bring Black Wargrey, and it's probably still pretty good.
people are gonna go. Oh, Anubis is gone. I can take out my reduced play cost floodgates cards, and then Royal Knight's gonna sweep an event.
Yeah,
because everyone's going, I can't stop this.
Same idea. So a lot of look forward to in the competitive scene, and we'll keep you updated as our tournaments keep going.
Yeah.
But even looking past those competitive tournaments, we have so much more to look forward to, specifically in the top end of a lot of decks.
Yeah.
So
we've gotten some awesome leaks.
Yeah, we've been kind of behind on reveals because of tournament scheduling and releases and whatever the case. So what we're going to talk about right now is all of the level 7 ace cards that have been revealed in the past months. And we're going to start off with something that is really I've fallen in love with, and that is Bond. So we're going to start with the Agumon Bond of Bravery Ace. This card is interesting because it is able to warp Ace, which I think this is the first instance of that.
Yes.
If memory serves. So it says, Digivolve while you have 2 or fewer security cards from an Agumon for a cost of 3. It also has the stipulation of counter, of blast Digivolve.
Yeah.
So they swing, you have an Agumon, you have 2 security, bomb,
Boom.
which is kind of crazy. And then on plane, when Digivolving, delete any number of your opponent's Digimon whose DP adds up to equal or less than this Digimon's DP. And then when attacking once per turn, if you have a tamer, trash security. So that's pretty interesting because the old Bond only had when attacking, delete a 13k specifically.
Yes.
But this Digimon being 14k, inheritables gaining DP, this could be able to finally have an actual out to those 15k level 7s that most decks have.
Plus, your the 3-drop black tie says an Agumon or a Greymon. So a lot of times you could like have like a 4k Agumon that's on the board, and then when you warp up to Bond, it's going to be 16k.
Yeah, really cool. But other than that, it's also another card that could randomly go in War Gray, I feel.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the Greymon, the struggles that I've had with Greymon Toolbox is sort of red versus black base and memory boost versus training and stuff like that. And something that has really fallen to the wayside in those decks is Omnimon, because it's white.
Yeah.
And I feel like people have moved away from the BT5 Searcher Agumon that grabbed a Greymon and an Omnimon towards the BT12, which grabs an Agumon or an Omnimon, or a Greymon or an Omnimon, and then a tie.
Yeah.
And so most of the time when you're playing that, you're looking for a Greymon of some kind. So this could be interesting not only in Bond, but in straight up Greymon.
I think it's also just like the fact that it just goes like any red level 6.
Exactly.
With,
for 3.
counters on any red level 6. This card, like these aces are so interesting because I'm a big fan for aces.
Mm-hmm.
They like allow for more interactions in a game. They allow games to be not so solitary and like, oh, you have to, like, as a competitive player, this, like, constant knowledge of, like, oh, I need to keep track of, like, oh, these aces they play, and, like, these cards might be in their hands. And, like, this card, like not even that, too. The fact that, like, in Bond, you can, like, now you have, like, I don't know if you'd play 4 and 4 of them, but,
yeah,
like,
right.
but, like, the fact that, like, you can go up into this one, obviously that would be bad because... if you like didn't have less than if you had more than the security and you had to like lose the end of turn and lose 5, that'd be really bad.
Right.
But it just like more options. Decks when given like more options, more cards
sick
to use is like really awesome.
The good deck builders rise to the top in those instances.
Yeah.
So we'll move into the partner in crime, which is Gabumon, Bond of Friendship. Similar effect, can warp on a Gabumon if you have 2 or less security. On plane when digivolving, bounce 2 Digimon with equal or fewer sources than this card to the bottom of deck, not to hand. And then when attacking, if you have a Tamer on suspend. So this one is pretty interesting because obviously blue source strip is sort of the big idea.
Yeah.
But not really something you're gonna have if you're warping, right? So
No.
we're gonna have
My level 3
we're gonna have
2
Suno,
source.
we're gonna have Suno, we're gonna have Gabu, and we're gonna have Bond. So we're not really bottom decking a lot of things with
Bot
sources.
deck your 4s.
Yeah, bot deck of 4, quite good. Bot deck, our Digicrossed Metal Greymon from Blue Flare, maybe.
Where I think this card finds its place is in Ulforce. I think this card slots into Ulforce really well. The fact like you already need Tamers in play, so you're gonna get to trigger that unsuspend, and like sticking an Ulforce, being able to like block because I think Ulforce gets blocker from Rena.
If only we knew someone who knew what Ulforce Vidramon did. Jesse, take it away.
I mean, it's a blue level 7, so it's already better than most of the level 7s you would even attempt to use in the deck.
You have gone
I
through.
will try it out.
You have gone through the ringer in level 7s in this deck. He's trying.
But my thought with this card when I first read it was I didn't even think of like Gabu Bond. I just thought of like Ulforce blocking and then them swinging and you acing into Gabu Bond and like bot decking stuff. And Ulforce has got ton of sources. Ulforce, you have Tamers in play. I saw it and I was like, this card's got to be good in Ulforce, right?
That's got to be good. So we'll now move into another interesting choice for an ace, which is Gallantmon Crimson Mode. So this can Digivolve on a Gallantmon for 4, red level 6 for 5. Hand and counter blast Digivolve. On plane when Digivolving, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose DP adds up to 15k or less and delete them. So that's sort of Gallantmon vibes.
Yeah.
And then when attacking once per turn for every 10 cards in both players' trash a security. So sort of takes the Crimson Mode, which I believe was only your opponent's or your security.
Yeah.
We've got one right here. We're trying to figure it out.
I'm trying to see if I can peek at it hard enough.
It kind of
to read
takes
it.
the secret rare Gallantmon strategy and puts it on a Crimson Mode. Of course, Gallantmon, a deck that has really struggled in recent sets, even with the BT12 line, it just really hasn't seen any success.
It just seems to never have enough. It always seems to be missing that one thing. But with Crimson Mode Ace and the leaks we're getting right now for BT 17,
17,
is the set leaks are coming out right now. I'm hoping that the Gallantmon fans get enough support to finally be able to bring this deck to major events and see success with it.
Yeah. The problem, of course, and I was telling Jesse this, Gallantmon is the same problem that a lot of the sort of mid-tier to low-tier green decks have, where if your opponent doesn't play a Digimon, you don't really do anything. And so it's sort of like I love Dire Bitmon, but if they don't play a Digimon and we don't have anything to swing at, we don't really have a strategy. And if Gallantmon isn't deleting Digimon, it doesn't really get a lot of the big benefits that it looks for. We'll move into, oh my gosh, one of the cards of all time, which is Imperial Dramon Paladin Mode Ace, our second 3-color card. So this card, Jesse has forgotten to give us the text.
No, it's right here.
You got it? Go ahead.
I got it. So Imperial Dramon Paladin Mode Ace digivolves on a level 6 with Imperial Dramon in name for 5. So it goes in both Dragon Mode and Fighter Mode, which is cool. It counter blast digivolves. On play when digivolving, trash all sources of all of your opponent's Digimon. Then return all cards from your or your opponent's trash to the bottom of the deck. If this effect returned a white level 7 card, gain 3 memory. And then when attacking, by returning one of your opponent's Digimon with no sources to the bottom of the deck, unsuspend this Digimon. And rule trait has free in its deck in its traits. I think this card is really good.
Yeah. So this is Jess and I were kind of talking about level 7s generally. And I'm of the opinion that the best level 7 in the game is Ruin Mode.
Ruin Mode, yes.
Of course.
I thought you were going to say Death X.
Death X.
Death X is good.
Death X is my number 2.
Ruin Mode, being able to tell your opponent you can't play for 2 turns.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's very good. I think Death X, it goes like this. Shine Gray Ruin Mode, Gap, Death X, Small Gap, Quartzmon. And then every other level 7 is deck specific, in my opinion. Okay.
We're talking about generic.
Right. So obviously, Shine Greymon Burst Mode is a very good card. That goes in one deck. Right. Sort of same idea with all the burst modes. Same idea with kind of Blitz Omni. You really only want to play that in Red Hybrids or War Gray.
Yeah.
Like those are the only decks that really play that card. You know, Omnimon
or
X.
Melga.
Omnimon or Melga, same idea. Omnimon X, same idea, but you really only want to play it in that X antibody deck. Stuff like that.
You don't think Susanomon's the best level 7 in the game?
Susanomon, it really is not the greatest. But this card is one of those cards that I think could jump into that upper echelon of level 7s. Not only can it counter on green and blue, so no, not on white. It is a white card, but cannot counter on white.
Are you sure?
I'm looking at the color wheel, right?
Does that does only say green and blue?
Right, and then but it is white, so it's it has that ability. But trashing every source of every card is quite good.
Stripping everything and all of the trashes go to the bottom of the deck is like even like just that effect of stripping everything goes back to the deck.
Well, you have to select one or the other, right? Is that the wording?
Oh, return all cards from your or your opponent's trash.
So the benefit
that is still really good.
That's still quite good because it's in the purple matchup, lose all your abilities. In the black matchup, lose all your pieces. In your versus the yellow matchup, don't deck out.
Yeah.
Quite strong.
No longer will Setcon play for time.
Right.
I'm getting all my cards back.
And then any ace that says gain memory, I think has a place in the meta.
Gain 3 memory
because
is
being
pretty
able
good
to
too.
being able to steal the turn is quite strong. And the other interesting thing about this card is paired with the sort of the delay option, the new option, basically says when one of your Imperial Dramons or one of your frees would be deleted, digivolve into a free to prevent that deletion.
Yeah.
So then they try and delete it with their effects during their attack, prevent the deletion, and then counter. That's pretty good.
Ugh. Gonna be really good.
Now, this is good in all fours. Because it is also blue, it unsuspends, so it'll gain memory off the arena, and it's searchable. This card
Yes.
is absolutely good
This card
for
is
that deck.
quite
This is the one
strong.
I'm waiting for.
Now let's get into a card that is not very strong. Omnimon Ace. Now I
Omnimon
predicted,
Ace.
my prediction with Omnimon Ace was it was going to introduce a new keyword, and it was going to be called something, and it was going to say, during your opponent's attack timing, take over their attack timing.
Yeah.
And then attack or something. Instead, what we have is Omnimon Ace. DNA Digivolve with a level 6 with Greymon in name and a level 6 with Garuru in name. So instantly I'm like, oh man, it's for the EX4 Omni thing, the Alter S
deck.
thing. And then I read it more. Hand counter blast DNA Digivolve with both Digimon. Notice it does not say one from
Didn't say
hand,
one from hand.
and one on the field. So they have to both be on the field.
Brutal.
Raid and blocker on plane when Digivolving. Only if DNA Digivolving. Choose a Digimon and return that Digimon and all of their Digimon with the same level to the bottom of the deck, and then delete a Digimon. So we bottom deck something and delete something. So that's tremendous. That's our reward for having a Greymon and or a Wargrey and a Melga.
And then getting
That's what we get.
no more attacking effects.
And then we overflow 5 and we have no protection.
I is
No,
it
it's an
only rare?
SR.
That's an SR.
It says
Yeah.
SR on it.
I think obviously we're getting the reveals right now for what this deck goes into. That DNA Digital, the Wargrey, Metal Guru DNA Digital deck. Hopefully those cards are good enough to support it. The deck I think this card actually fits in, funny enough, is Royal Knights. For me, this card reads 3-mana Gaia Force. This card reads play it in Royal Knights, Gaia Force something, and then because
True.
it tucks under your egg, I'm hoping that doesn't count as triggering overflow.
Yeah, shout outs to the tier 0 Robo Sushi, who has been pestering Bandai saying, what does this card really
Please.
mean?
But so hopefully, if you can play this in Royal Knights,
Yes,
and
on
then this tucks
play-
under Yggdrasil,
Yeah. On play, delete a Digimon.
yeah.
Right.
Hopefully, it's got to be like some way decent. And if they
Yeah.
have floodgates, this is a 9 cost deleted Digimon. Obviously, that's super expensive to get rid of like a Pomumon.
Yeah.
But I'm
Gotta
thinking,
do what you gotta do.
You're the Royal Knight player. Figure it out.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
thinking this card fits into Royal Knights as like as removal
Yeah.
and but unless tucking under Yggdrasil triggers overflow. If that does, I don't know what this deck goes in. But if it doesn't, then this
Yeah.
card is
Well,
decent in Royal Knights.
and we've talked about this next card a little bit because I'm really excited for that. And I just want to contrast the Ragnarlord Ace, where it has that ability, Blast Digivolve, a Durandamon or a Bryway Ludramon, and then the other one in
From hand.
So you only need the one level 6 on the field and then the other one in the hand.
My
And
Mastamon does the same thing.
Mastamon does the
and
same
I'm
thing, and I'm just wondering.
really glad that that's how
I'm
it's
wondering
working.
why they gave this card with, let's be honest, a pretty underwhelming effect. Also, the restriction where it can't do it from the hand. The people are wondering. Bandai.
Maybe it was too good.
And maybe it was too good. They want to print
knows?
cards that are less oppressive, perhaps. We've got one more level 7 that we'll talk about real quickly here. Shine Greymon Burst Mode Ace. So this is Shine Greymon, the first deck to get a second copy of a Burst Mode. Digivolves from Shine Grey for 4. Has counter timing. On play and when Digivolving, play a Tamer from hand for free. Then for every one of your Tamers, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 5k for the turn. When attacking, suspend up to 2 of your yellow Tamers. For every Tamer this effect suspends, gains security attack +1. So this card is pretty interesting because what have they done?
I don't know really with this card. There's so much about this card that it's missing. It can't blast Digivolve like other, or it can't burst Digivolve by bouncing on
Right.
markets to do that. That already is like
Hurts because by the time you're into Shine Greymon, you're usually out of memory and resources. You usually use your resources to get up to the Shine.
The fact that this on play when Digivolving doesn't read like OG Shine Greymon, where OG Shine Greymon, the BT 2 or 3 one,
Yeah.
says for each of your tamer, activate this effect, give something minus 4k, I think it was. The fact that this can only DP bomb one thing,
Yes, so
and
we're-
that you can't blast
split it
Digivolve
up.
and split it up like the old Shine Greymon does. Another like,
Like we're gonna nig 20k something. And
You got
that's
it.
way overkill.
but the rookie's gonna kill you.
yes,
And then giving Shine Greymon security tack +2 is like also good, but I want to swing with those Marcuses.
right. We want the benefit on our tamers, not on our Digimon. That was the whole thing. With
So
Shine
much
Greymon.
about this card is interesting, and I think what this card wants to be in is a deck that is centered more around the BT 13 Shine Greymon, the one
Yes,
that wants
more
to have
defensive.
Marcuses of blockers, and you want that Shine Greymon to be in play for the minus 6k when a tamer gets suspended effect that the BT 13 one has. And then so if they swing, I guess you would like block pop something and they swing again and you ace. But then again, you couldn't because if you counter on top of it, then you lose the all turns DP bomb anyway. I don't know.
I don't know.
This card is really interesting.
I think it'll be seen most play in yellow decks that are not Shine Greymon.
yeah.
That's what I think. I think this is a yellow hybrid level 7.
Yellow hybrids. This is another. We're not getting Jet Sylphimon back to 4 of.
Yeah,
Because this
right.
card would fit if you could Venus mode, and then
Venus
they
mode.
swung and you burst moded and then swung for 3 checks. This card would be really nasty. I don't think we're getting Jet Sylphie back anytime soon.
Amen. Well, that's it for the reveals, and that's just about all we have for now. But Jacob, you have a card of the week picked out.
Card of the week is one of my favorite cards from the new set, Revelation of Light. This card
I knew you were going to
is
say that.
so good.
That is a card that we were playtesting, like you said, the new Maimon versus your Angels deck, and I had to read it like 4 or 5 times.
What does this do?
I was like, really?
This card like genuinely is like not only is it like a cool card, getting to play your like 4s out from security and it goes to the top of security if you have Kari. The fact that it like what triggers its security when trashing as well. There's just so much about this card that is like really, really cool. And we were playing the machine. We were playing Machine v Yellow Vaccine, and there was even something silly as like being able to like, oh, Revelation, grab Anjumon back out on the field.
Yeah, right. It's like, damn it.
I really like this card. I think this card's really strong. It's one of the cards I've had the most fun testing with. Recently.
Yellow is finally coming into its own as a color, as
Yes.
the security manipulation color. Not just the recover color, not just the DP minus color, but the let's manipulate this security stack and really treat it as a proper second hand.
We have a second hand.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
It's very nice.
For you?
My card of the week is a rare Basil Bandai Negativity card of the week.
Oh.
My card of the week is Promo Raremon. And the
Raremon.
reason, yes, it's in Machine Dramon, and yes, pitch 1, draw 2 is quite strong. The reason I want to talk about this card specifically is please reprint limited card set 1, 2, and 3, because at the time of recording, lowest listing for Promo Raremon is $40 from a seller with no reviews, and the next one is $45, and then after that, they're all $50. And all of the promo cards like this are this expensive. Promo Zubamon, promo Seedramon, promo, even the promo Edamon was expensive for a while.
Don't tell me the Bastamon is $40.
Bastamon is in the survey pack, which is tournament participation. These are the box toppers. Even in the Blast Day set, promo Diaboromon is expensive. Rust Tyrannomon was expensive for a while. these promo cards are great. They're 4 ofs in the deck that they're in.
Yeah.
Them being at $30 and $40 is completely ridiculous. We need these cards to be reprinted. We've seen it once. Rust Tyrannomon Ace is getting reprinted as tournament support for the online tournaments.
Yes.
But they talked about on the last podcast, the tournament packs. This tournament pack is terrible. It's completely whack. Put these promos that you forgot to give us 2 months ago in tournament participation. So they're $1 instead of $40.
This happened a long time ago, back in. I know I'm gonna get this wrong, but
You're gonna date yourself
BT
here.
through BT2 to BT4 range. They gave us a set of promo cards to make decks that didn't do as well better, and then those cards were promo Palmon, the Digiburst to get jamming.
Digiburst,
You had, I don't even know what the yellow one was. You had like the the Warp Agunimon and the Warp Lobomon.
Yeah.
Those
for the
cards,
ancient
for the ancient decks,
yeah.
those cards were there. So this might have been even as BT5. But so like that Palmon was a 4 of in Grand Kuwagmon because you need
The
Grand
Digiburst.
Kuwagmon didn't have a ton of DP boost.
Didn't have
so at the
Grandis
time
yet.
you only had the Yokomon to give it plus 2k. So you were 13k swinging for these checks and hoping to live. Giving it jamming was huge. And I remember when those cards like officially came out, they were only in like I don't remember how they gave them to us. They must have been like box topper promos. Palmons were like $20 to $40 a piece.
Yeah.
And like if you were a green player, you just had to buy them.
You had to eat that.
That Palmon didn't get reprinted to RBO till RBO1.
Right.
Practically 2 years away.
Right.
Don't do that again with
Yes,
these ones, Bandai. Please.
People just want to
reprint-
play. People want to play Aegistramon, and you're gonna make them shell out $90 for a
For their
playset of this
Siegramon
card.
promos?
Come on, man. Do better than that, Bandai. So that's my. Because we know you're watching. You're fans of the channel. You have been forever.
The Bandai CEO has the timer for
The
when
notification
the podcast
bell
drops
turned
on Friday.
on. Yes.
He's liked, subscribed, and turned on notifications.
That's right. Well, that's gonna wrap it up for us.
We gotta have Jesse's card of the week.
I want a card of the week.
Oh,
Hater
producer.
over there. I got to split the room, man. That's my job, right?
let us know.
Definitely going to split the room with this one. So I'm going all the way back to that BT4 era. I think Basil knows where I'm going with this.
I do know where you're going with this.
Chaosmon. I have been having a ton of fun with this in a certain deck. No spoilers. Deck profile to come, but yeah, being able to swing it unsuspended bodies the OG way. Before this raid, before this raid garbage came out, or this BT8 metal gray, you know, and have piercing. It's been a lot of fun. So deck profile to come, but that's my card of the week.
There you go. A beautiful white level 7. How thematic for the day. But if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate how much love the podcast has been getting in recent months. It's awesome to see. The people love Digimon. Jacob, thank you so much for joining.
Happy to be here.
That's right. We're going to head off to locals, but if you're watching this, please like, comment, and subscribe. We love all the support. We've got 1 million BT15 decks on the way. We might not be done with the BT15 decks by the time BT16 drops, but we're going to try like hell anyway. So thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
We gonna